Meanwhile, attorneys across the nation are planning to protest the Trump administration today. They're retaking their oaths and rallying against the recent threats and public attacks against judges and law firms. I want to bring in Department of Justice reporter Jake Rosen. So, Jake, what can you tell us about that?
There's a number of people who are either retired judges, some active judges, and lawyers, part of big firms who have been targeted by the Trump administration who are rallying today. Part of May Day is also a rule of law and enforcing it. Obviously, with what we've seen between the Trump administration and big law firms is deliberate targeting by the administration of either law firms for the clients they've had or some attorneys who have worked for them or currently work for them, including Vice President Doug Emhoff, former second gentleman, Doug Emhoff, who works at one of these firms. It's been a deliberate effort, and we've really seen some of these law firms capitulate and settle with the Trump administration. There's been 4 of them so far, and there have been a number of law firms who have had their case in front of federal judges here in D.C. in the last couple of weeks in their lawsuit against the Department of Justice. In the last 10 days, 3 firms have asked for permanent blocks on the executive order targeting them, which in part takes away security clearances of attorneys who works there, blocks them from working with the government, and punishes them effectively making it very hard for them to hire clients who work with the federal government.
So Jake, I mean, this is sort of a continuation of that lawfare that we've seen over the course of this second Trump term, as the president continues to go after lawyers simply for doing their jobs in some cases, and in many cases, some of those law firms have capitulated.
And they have, and these settlements are for pro bono work, which means that they agree to work with the Trump administration to, at least in President Trump's words, work in terms of not discriminate against the clients they choose, which is part of President Trump's allegations against them, that they only choose liberal clients. In addition to that, working on future projects. Some of that is working and representing police departments. Some of that is doing work, as Trump said a couple of weeks ago, about potentially even helping out with international business law as these trade deals come down in the wake of President Trump's tariff efforts. How much of that money is actually pro bono and how much of it is just these law firms agreeing to kind of get President Trump's attention away from them is yet to be determined. But it's certainly a big step and an unprecedented step that the Trump administration has taken, and we've seen some protests around the country already today calling that out.
And Jake, before I let you go, on this Madawi case, the Justice Department is saying that they're going to appeal the judge's decision to release him. What are you hearing about that?
Well, the entire argument, Vlad, in a number of these cases, including one later today in Alexandria, Virginia, of a case of a Georgetown student who has been detained for over a month and a half now, is that these federal judges have no authority to free these people from detention because they're part of immigration court proceedings, and the Trump administration wants to deport them. They've said in multiple different memos from Secretary Rubio that, at least in the case of these students, that they're a threat to remain in the country because of their alleged spread of anti-Semitism and speaking out against the war in Gaza. At least in Madawi's case, this was the first federal judge to order the release of one of these college students, and it's certainly a benchmark case going forward, as there are students all across the country, including Mahmoud Khalil, Rumeysa Ozturk, and Badar Khan Suri, who's a Georgetown researcher who's having his case heard today. They have to fight their cases in immigration court at the same time to fight their deportations, but they're also having attorneys fight for them to get freed from detention as these immigration proceedings play out.
All right, Jake Rosen for us in Washington. Jake, thank you very much.